The Boynton Beach Police Department, a small building in a quiet South Florida town. But what came out of here could hardly have been any bigger or louder. Terry Parker, investigative reporter for WPBF 25 News, covered the story.
So this guy Muhammad walks into the Boynton Beach police station and he says, I know a woman who's trying to hire a hitman to kill her husband.
She asked if I knew someone who can kill her husband for her.
The man, Mohammed Shahadi, was recorded as he talked to detectives about his one-time lover, Dalia DiPolito. He tells police he's speaking out to save the man's life.
Are you scared for the guy?
Yes, because she's really, dead serious on getting this done.
It's quite a story, if true, because while he can describe Dalia,
She's maybe 5'6", 5'7", dark black hair. She's a good-looking girl. Really good-looking girl, actually.
he can't even tell cops her last name or her address.
Well, at the time, we didn't know what to believe. We were kind of, weren't sure what we had.
They had the reservations. They had to say, let's see some proof.
To get proof, the cops make Mohammed a confidential informant. He arranges to meet Dalia at this gas station. Cops are staked out as their mystery woman arrives.
And she actually stepped out of the car. We were surprised because she didn't look like the type.
She didn't look like a killer, but Detective Alex Moreno says she's about to show her true colors. She gets into Mohammed's silver Lexus. While you can't quite see them on the hidden camera cops had installed, you can sure hear them talking about a hitman.
This guy's a professional. It's not bull.
Once she gets in the car and she meets up with the informant, we realized that this guy was credible.
His mom is not going to get suspicious of you or anything like
Why
that.
me? Like, do you know what
She
telling
say
somebody
that-
it? Nobody's going to be able to point a finger at me.
She's just talking about it like she's ordering lunch.
Randy Schultz is a columnist for the Sun Sentinel newspaper.
You think, this is just so cold, not really acting like the typical newlywed, shall we say.
Mohammed tells Dalia the hitman wants $1,200 to buy a gun. She comes prepared. She has a wad of cash in her bag and counts it out and hands it over. And shortly afterward, gives him a photo of Mike.
Wipe my hands off the pictures. Really? You're going to give him something with fingerprints all over?
And at that moment, the detectives realize, we've got her. This is real. She just handed him $1,200 in a picture of the husband that she once murdered.
We were shocked how easily she talked about getting her husband killed.
2 days later, the talk turns to action in this CVS parking lot. She's not there to pick up a prescription.
So I came here. I pretty much parked in this exact spot right here.
This is Whitty Jean, an undercover police officer.
She parked one to the third space from here.
Police say Dalia thinks she is meeting an actual hitman in his cherry red convertible.
We're staying in here, right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
He makes his plan crystal clear.
I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do it and when exactly it's going to be done.
A burglary gone wrong that leaves Mike dead.
Everybody works in the daytime.
Right.
When he's at work, when he's not at work, then, he gets to it ahead.
For the undercover detective, he really wants to nail Dalia. Make sure he's got it on tape and on camera that she is really going to pay him to kill her husband. And he says, are you sure, Dalia?
Between now and when it's done, you're not going to have an option to change your mind, even if you change your mind.
No, there's no, I'm determined
Definitely
already.
you wanna do
I'm positive, 5,000% sure.
There it is. The press would have a field day with this line. Listen again. She's 5,000% sure.
I'm positive, 5,000% sure. No, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
No, she wasn't just 100% sure. She was 5,000% sure that she wanted her husband killed.
I was a little shocked because I didn't think she was going to be that open.
Dalia never backs off.
No, I'm not going to, I'm a lot tougher than what I look. I know you see me and you're like, oh, what a cute little girl, whatever. But I'm not.
You are. You're beautiful.
Thank you, but, I just need to make sure everything's going to take care of.
The not-so-cute little girl agrees to a plan. She will leave the house early Wednesday morning.
I'll be in the house by 6:30 Wednesday morning. 6 o'clock.
Sure enough, she's at this gym around 6 a.m. Wednesday, leaving Mike DiPolito home alone, in bed, still recovering from liposuction from 2 weeks before.
At this point, the police have all the evidence they need. These are experienced officers. You know that you have enough. You have a case. Done. End of story. But not end of television show.
Television show?
Bad boys, what you gonna do when they come for you?
That's right. Turns out a reality show has come to Boynton Beach.
Got the video?
Yep.
And the timing couldn't be better. they'll be able to film the last part of the police investigation.
Detectives, they were going to stage this fake crime scene.
I hear a banging on the door.
Sorry, yes. Sergeant Sheridan, Point Police Department.
The TV show cameras are rolling when police wake up Mike. That's Officer Moreno at the door.
Your wife has hired a person to kill you.
Relax, just relax. Take it easy.
Take a deep breath.
Daddy, sit down.
The guy was totally in shock that this was going on.
I was very surprised. I was like, because then it hit me like, this is a mess.
They drive him away and transform the street to make it appear they're really investigating Mike's murder. The TV show Cops, along with Boynton Beach police, have cameras rolling when a detective calls Dahlia at the gym.
We're at your residence, ma'am. Can you come right back to your residence, please?
She's back in a flash, and now watch carefully. You be the judge of what happens next.
Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am. He's been killed. He's been killed, ma'am. I'm sorry. Listen. Try to calm down.
We know the cops are acting.
I can't let you see it, ma'am.
What about Dahlia?
I need you to take her to the station.
Amidst all of that tremors and shaking of her body, there wasn't any real tears coming out of her eyes.
The crying, the screaming, the bending over. Meryl Streep, wherever you are tonight, don't worry, you're safe.
They hustled Dahlia off to this interrogation room for questioning. Another recorded moment.
Are you sure that you don't know anybody who want to kill your husband? You wouldn't want to kill him, I hope. Not at all.
It's almost like something out of Law and Order.
There's no more games with you and I. Now we're going to get down to serious business. I want to know if you know this guy. Come here.
They bring in Officer Witty Jean, the supposed hitman from the car.
Get over here. You know who this guy is?
No.
You've never seen him before?
I've never seen him before.
She just stared at him. She said she didn't know him.
And then, call it a resurrection.
Oh my God.
He's alive.
Police have another surprise for Dahlia DiPolito.
Here, please. Come here. Mike, come here.
She sees her husband, and he's alive.
The show Cops captures this moment as well.
Come here, please. Come here. Why not? I didn't do anything to you. Mike, come here, please.
What? You're alive? I love that moment, and I'm sure a jury will too.
You're going to jail today for solicitation of murder. You're under arrest.
I didn't do anything.
Did you hear what I just told you?
You kept saying, I didn't do anything.
Please, I didn't do anything.
Was that all you could think of to say?
They were accusing me of trying to have my husband killed, and I didn't.
Didn't do anything? What about the hitman? What about all those tapes? Dahlia's never answered questions about her version.
How do you explain what we have all seen and heard on those videotapes?
For the first time, she will.